Can you be enlightened and still be a dumb shit? Probably. About this, you're talking to the expert. The dumb shit enlightenment. So I've told these stories. There's one ongoing drama. I say the word Crozier, you will have the reference. If not, you can pull up a video with the word Crozier in the title. If you don't cough, you don't get off. That's what they say. Upstate, Rochester. I had art damage. Twice. From like 2 different storms. Now, get this. We have thaw. I guess that we're thawing out from the ice age now. It's beach weather outside in Sunset Park. So now I've been downstairs in the studio every day, but downstairs it's been frozen. And so I go down there, and there is, now brace yourself, gear nerds, brace yourself. It is a classic piece of gear, I should say. Casio FZ10 sampler. Mint condition. I go down there and it's sitting there in a puddle of water. How'd that happen? I didn't notice it before. These horror stories, I mean, these losses, that's hard. And I know plenty of people, for whom losses, whether of archive, whatever, it can fuck things up. So my theory is this, that it can't fuck up your enlightenment. What will have been most important about my day right now is certainly not going to be my worries about my tax bill or my FZ10. What will have counted is exactly how much of a dumb shit I continue to somehow feel compelled to be. I don't know if it's a choice. People always talk about, well, morality is a decision, and you're by force of will and inner fiber and stuff. I mean, that's all well and good. I just don't see how one can count on the accident of physiological disposition as the highest principle, because physiological disposition is different for everybody. Yet the highest principle is not for the select few. The highest principle is simply there. And in this sense, you know, you can call me Platonist, you can call me Gödelian, Fregean, Platonist, Hegelian, about deconstruction and intuitionism. How about that? I'm a Platonist about Brouwerian intuitionism. How about that? Good enough? Hey, it works for me. I always thought that, you know, it made perfect sense to think of Nietzsche as an idealist, and boy did I get F's on those papers. Well, it wasn't papers that I got F's on, but it's funny. Everything related to Nietzsche, despite the fact that it's arguable that I know Nietzsche better than I know any other thinker. Nietzsche, whenever I would something had to do with Nietzsche in school, it always led to something weird, which is good. I mean, you know, whether it was my presentation on Psyche, Inventions of the Other, that I tried to combine with Twilight of the Idols in Peggy Camuff's class, or whether arguments with all the Nietzsche nerds, you know, because everybody loves to get stronger by not being killed and stuff like that. Hey, be an idealist about Nietzsche, so why not? I always thought that there was more of a connection between Hegel and Nietzsche, that Nietzsche was a bit dishonest with himself about, or dismissive of Hegel anyway. On the face of it, it's kind of cheap to make Nietzsche into Hegel, but on the other hand, you got some affinities there. Real preoccupation with dialectical contradiction. That's just very German, classical German idealism. And Nietzsche is always associated with it, idealism. I mean, there is some appreciation for him, certainly, in analytic philosophy all over the place. You know, appreciation for Nietzsche is 100% ubiquitous. Everybody competes for who gets to be the rightful, the most appropriate or immediately related discourse. Nobody dislikes Nietzsche except one professor. Who I mentioned, Dreher, Dreher, I think, Dreher, USC. He's there right now. He's in the faculty. Deontic ethics, Kant versus Mill, stuff like that. I'm going down to do this puddle of water show and tell. Why not? Oh, I need my lucky charm. Which side do we choose? So, as you know, one side is Pustaka Bodhiparvata, who, trying to get it to do some, oh yeah, there, Pustaka Bodhiparvata, and then the other side is, you know, the good old Byzantium. I guess I'll go with the Byzantium. Because why? Any number of reasons. Why? Why Byzantium? My question, my whataboutist retort is, what about Donald Trump? Huh? Capisci? What the fuck about Donald Trump? Is it not true that, from a certain perspective, all bets are off? You can see at the highest levels this kind of Allah gegen Allah. Everything, everyone against everyone. Indeed, you know, what have I to worry about? What have I to worry about? Not because I'm enlightened, although that helps. No! Not because I am or am not enlightened, or something in between for that matter, but because shit got weird in this country, in our culture. And whereas once there was something that was legitimate, is no more. So, here's our beloved FC10, which is drawing on this thing. Why on earth, how did that get puddle of watered? That's a verb. That's a verb. To puddle of water. That's what happened to this sampler, which is otherwise in mint condition. It's a relic, and it's in mint condition, and it was just sitting in a puddle of water. That's kind of party foul. It was sitting right there. Now, where did this water come from? Oh, goodness. Do we, well, I suppose now that I'm in the museum, okay, what do we have here? That stuff. Yeah. Hey, look at that. It's not bad. God, this is so precarious. As so far as water damage goes, and I mean, this is a studio space. See how you really can see how deep this shit is. Look at that. Look at this workspace. God damn. It's really something else. Yes, those are breasts. Those are breasts. Quite tastelessly done. I don't know. You know that. Now this is historical archival shit, because obviously the artistic, I mean the import, dear future art historians, you know, I'll give you another totally unfair reference. Here I'll get real specific. Okay, that's homemade pozzolanic lime paint. That's a primed canvas, believe it or not. How many layers are on that thing? I spent several months where all I did was build up layers of pozzolanic lime paint. And this madrileña, you know, after Franco died, there was a cultural explosion, and the DAF, well, it's not DAF, but it was Fuman Cigarrillos. Yeah, you know it. You know what it is. Los niños del parque fuman cigarrillos. Piensan caramelos. Piensan sueñan caramelos. Fuman cigarrillos. Los niños del parque. Liaisons Dangerous is Gabby. No, I'm thinking DAF. Krishna Guano. Krishna Guano. Spanish German. Krishna Guano. Goinea. EAU. Krishna Guano. Madrileña. Okay. Now what am I getting? I'm here to get attenuverters, right? I'm here to get knobs. Knobs. So what was I listening to? Well, I was listening to Michael McFall on Peter Robinson. I mentioned that, I guess. What were they talking about? Well, they were talking, I guess, were they talking about Putin? They must be talking about Putin. Michael McFaul is clearly a Peter Robinson fan, and I don't know. I wonder about the people at Hoover. I think for the most part they seem pretty uniform. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I don't know. I'm not really that familiar with their shtick. Wow, Clavis. What the hell are these? Oh, those are like attenuverters. Huh. I mean, this is really specialized, right? Like, how much of a... Oh, God. How did I fix this in there? Good job, Dimitri. That's the thing. That's the thing about Eurorag gear, is that you get all this stuff mashed in there, and then you get a bright idea that you're going to take something and then once you start disassembling the thing, the next thing you know, you're staring at a fucking butchered carcass. And wondering how Humpty Dumpty is put back together. So and then especially I have only gotten into modular synthesis post girlfriend phenomenon. So as you know, or you may know, I don't know how many people and how much I haven't talked about my sex life. I don't know when's the last time I talked about my sex life on here, but I get pretty gnarly about talking about my sex life. And, I don't do like the kind of serious monogamous, soul bonding. There's just too much metaphysical risk at stake for myself. So the compromise that I settle for is, I at any given time, I have literally 4 or 5 women that I have sex with, who I have sex with, whom I have sex with. The distinction between who and whom. I never was a good student. And I don't know if I ever claimed to be a good student. I don't think so. I think that it's more likely that I never miss an opportunity to point out exactly what ways I'm, like, how badly misled I am. Like, if it's framed in terms of like learning deficit or learning disability, which might very well be, I might have a learning disability or two. Why not? Most of us may, for all we know. What even is a fucking learning disability? We use a term like learning disability the same way we use the word green apple. No. Except everybody, if you proceed as oh yeah, they have a learning disability. Oh, yeah, I know somebody with a learning disability. It's very easy. Like, you're looking at a green apple. Somebody says, well, do you like green apples? And you say, oh, green apples. I'm Mr. Green Apple. If I have a learning disability, one of them is associated with the nature of how my attention is fragmented. Because as you can see, how many different things am I doing right now? Am I not a perfectly respectable, immediately identifiable as such multitasker? Now, what is the difference, I'll ask you this, between multitasking and a series of monotasking moments? What is a multitasking moment? I mean, is it even possible to have a multitasking moment? Like at that very moment, you were doing both tasks? Or is it more like you have to focus on one thing, do a thing, and then you switch gears and you move to a different category? I don't know the answer. I'm assuming you do. Because if you didn't, then you'd be talking about it all the time like I do. But given the fact that nobody talks about such things, I'm assuming that y'all know how it works better than moi. Is that the way it's conjugated? Moi, y'all, and what's they all? Them? Maybe it's just them. Moi, y'all, and das man. It's like I feel like what is this? What is that term? Repo man? No. Hacking up, like stealing cars and chop shop. That's the term. Chop shop. And I will mention that a dear friend of mine, who I hardly speak to or see enough, is associated with the name Chop Shop. That's CHOP space SHOPPE. Chop Shop. KB, you know who you are, Chop Shop. Chop Shop. Is that a Frank Sinatra tune? Or an Eigentune? Don't give me that Frank Sinatra tune. Gotta have some of that Eigentune. Ooh, envelopes. Ooh. Oh, is this more? What the fuck? Divide by N. Frequency divider. I bet. Oh, I remember what that thing is. Oh, fuck. That's insane. It's like a bass crossover that my buddies who were already driving cars, they put these bass crossovers for their system in there, in their Honda Civic. Because everybody had a Honda Civic. Of course, Gary was kind of badass. He had an original VW Bug. Yeah, what was that? Sophomore year. Irvine High. God, these modules are incredible. I make such brilliant decisions buying modules. And even the aesthetic choice. I mean, I probably spent hours putting this particular composition of arrangements, like this one. These are really tightly packed, and anyway. And I still can't find the mannequin's cold Mac. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is truly going on here? It's like there are pieces of gear that I forget even owning. Which kind of, I don't know, it's interesting. Right? Because I was going to say it defeats the purpose, because then what the fuck are you doing? But that's also interesting, because then you discover, it's like making new discovery, and maybe that's pretty good. God, there's so many. Life is full of possibilities, Jimmy. Let me tell you. Indeed, life is full of possibilities. What do we do next? All right. So, what am I going to do about the FC10? I'm going to turn on ChatGPT and go, what do I do? My sampler has water. And then I don't know if I can do a ChatGPT impression. Let me think. Help, ChatGPT. My studio flooded. Help. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have an impersonation of ChatGPT. I mean, wouldn't I just be impersonating myself? It's a very strange sort of roundabout direction to say, the LLM told the person to, like, I mean, it's not even like one rash thing. It's like a multi-step plan. You're telling me that an LLM of its own volition, in quotation marks, an LLM of its own volition gave somebody a step-by-step plan for how to carry out something heinous. It sounds preposterously far-fetched to myself, personally. I'm not disputing the phenomenology of the evidence. I'm not saying that somebody didn't actually do some heinous thing. No. I'm trying to drive a wedge and draw our attention toward the question of what is primary in this causal chain. What is the primary event? And note that it is not a chicken egg question. It is not a chicken egg question. Hold on, I got it distracted doing this painting. Hold on. I gotta be careful because this is like just basically lead. It's lead. This is just pure lead carbonate paint right now. Here, this. Yeah. Okay. That's what flood damage does. Look at this. That's what flood damage does to drawings by kindergarten Dimitri. Can you imagine that? That's the sort of thing that can make you literally lose your mind. You can literally lose your mind by what? Things like owing money. You can lose your mind owing money. I owe a fuck ton of money to the tax collector. Don't we all? Don't we all just owe money to the tax collector? I mean, you're always sending something to the IRS, whether it's estimated payments or payments in your rear. I mean, in a payment in the rear. No, arrears. Payment in arrears. See how consistently I continue to make a solid case for the idea that I'm quite good at bad jokes. I don't know if they're sufficiently bad to be dignified as by being called good. These are poly bags, halocyan poly bags that turned out subpar. Sometimes the proof in the studio sense, sometimes the proof oh yeah, it looks great, yeah, do the whole run, and you get the whole run and you're like, what the fuck? It has been known to happen. Indeed, many times. in one's adult life. What? You sign the contract. You think it through. You pay the lawyer. Oh, it's good. We planned. And then you meet somebody who just destroys the whole fucking rule book, and you think a number of things. What the fuck have I been doing? What the heck are we doing? Or many things get thrown into question these days. Many things get thrown into question and with more urgency, do they not? That part I rather like. With more urgency. Especially. It gets more dangerous too. I don't like that part. How's it going?
Well,
What's the latest? Well, this is crazy. I mean, wasn't it just frozen like 2 days ago?
Yeah, it was a tundra.
It was literally Greenland.
Yeah.
And now we can go to the beach.
Yeah, it's crazy. I really like your frames.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So where are you off to?
I'm off to the post office, the grocery store. Nowhere exciting.
Have fun. Yep. Sunset Parkia. Mega Sunset Car Service. That is right. Every day. Yeah, so what? Damage. Gear damage, art damage. We're talking about gear and artwork. What was the line from? My mind automatically goes here. Not WWJD, but JWBD. What would John Wilkes Booth do? That is a line from that Fassbender movie about the sniper. With the cameo at the end, does that count as a cameo of Swinton? Tilda Swinton. Tilda Swinton is a brilliant actress. Is she not? That one film, oh my goodness. Oh my God. This is because my erstwhile psychoanalyst, Jared Russell, peace be upon him, took his own life. And the few things that I knew about him, he was into some gnarly stuff. That was one movie he mentioned. It's something about Kevin. Is that what it is with Tilda Swinton and John C. Reilly? It's not a nice note to end on. I shouldn't end on that note. It's a really, it's a good film, but a better note to end on is that one of my very favorite Tilda Swinton films is the one where she plays like really hardcore barfly, and she winds up abducting a child and then driving back and forth to Mexico, and that's really kind of a underrated sleeper. So, these are the things that happen in a life, and we leave you with the question now: are these foregoing considerations, events, vignettes, Gestelle, die Gestelle, Gestelle frames. Did he just compliment me on my frames? Look, I think that there is some kind of a Jungian synchronistic sort of like half-ass New Age quantum theoretic, like fuzzy logic thing, where there's probably a logic of meaning. Like it's frames, die Gestelle. My neighbor just asked me about what? My frames. Even if he didn't ask about the frames, he asked about my glasses. Still, I make the association. The logic is just so basic, right? And the associations are so immediate. How many associations really are there? How many associations do you need to get you to, you can say, oh, well, yeah, roll the dice. Here's an association. What do you see on this Rorschach blot? What does this remind you of, right? The associations are immediately going to give you a certain kind of logic. It's complicated and messy probably some of the time, but I don't think it's more complicated than we give ourselves a lot of credit for being sophisticated as thinkers. We're really not. I know how deep of a thinker I am, and I don't know how sophisticated I am. I'm certainly not very good at it. I'm just really into it. Okay, that's a nice note. We'll leave it on that positive note. Positivity.